1982 to 1999, Australia's best romantic films you can't miss. At number 1, Sirens, 1994. Step into a world where the rigid lines of tradition blur under the golden Australian sun. Sirens isn't just a period piece, it is a vibrant awakening. When a reserved minister and his wife, Estella, enter the unconventional sanctuary of artist Norman Lindsay, they expect a moral battle. Instead, they find a mirror. The estate is a playground of creative energy, where the models live with a refreshing, unfiltered honesty. Watching Estella's journey is truly captivating. She arrives shrouded in layers of social expectation, but as she observes the freedom of the women around her, those layers begin to peel away. It makes you wonder, if you were removed from every rule you've ever known, who would you actually become? By the time the train pulls away, the transformation is undeniable. They leave behind the quiet gardens, but they carry a newfound spark of self-discovery that changes their world forever. Does true freedom come from the mind or the spirit? At number 2, Shine, 1996. Shine, 1996 is more than a film. It's a meditation on how talent, pressure, and resilience collide. Watching David Helfgott's journey, I couldn't help but wonder how much of genius is shaped by struggle. The movie traces his childhood under a demanding father, his pursuit of Rachmaninoff's daunting concerto, and the collapse that followed. Yet what lingers is not the breakdown, but the rebirth, the image of David rediscovering music in unexpected places, turning a wine bar piano into a stage of renewal. Geoffrey Rush's performance captures both brilliance and vulnerability, reminding us that creativity often emerges from fractured spaces. I find myself curious about the balance, how much of David's artistry was sharpened by hardship and how much was nearly lost to it. Shine doesn't give easy answers, but it leaves us with a powerful thought. Art can be both a burden and a lifeline, depending on how it's carried. At number 3, 3 to Tango, 1999. Imagine a high-stakes architectural race where a simple clerical error in judgment spirals into a citywide charade. Oscar Novak is a man trapped between a career-defining blueprint and a monumental secret. When a powerful mogul mistakenly labels him harmless, Oscar is tasked with guarding the tycoon's partner, Amy. The catch? To keep the contract, he must inhabit a persona that isn't his own. As they wander through Chicago's galleries, a genuine bond forms, built on a foundation of shared humor and late-night talks. Oscar finds himself in a hilarious tightrope walk, navigating a world that celebrates his fake identity while his true heart races for the woman who thinks he's just a confidant. How far would you go for your dream job? Would you let the whole world believe a fiction just to stay near the person who makes you feel alive? This flick is a chaotic, witty reminder that the best-laid plans often crumble before the truth. At number 4, Strictly Ballroom, 1992. Scott's journey isn't just about winning a trophy. It is a full-scale rebellion against a dusty establishment. When he breaks away from the rigid Federation rules to perform his own illegal steps, he isn't just dancing, he is reclaiming his identity. Partnering with Fran, a wallflower with hidden fire, changes everything. She teaches him that movement without soul is just mechanics. Their partnership thrives on a shared bravery to be different in a world that demands carbon copies. I often wonder how many of us settle for the standard syllabus of life because we are scared to lose points with the judges. Watching Scott and Fran face the Pan-Pacific crowd in total silence, driven only by the heartbeat of the audience, is a powerful reminder that authenticity has its own rhythm. It makes you question, if the music stopped today, would you have the courage to keep dancing your own truth? At number 5, The Year of Living Dangerously, 1982. Peter Weir's The Year of Living Dangerously unfolds like a shadow play, where ambition, conscience, and history collide. Watching Guy Hamilton stumble into Jakarta's turmoil, I couldn't help but wonder how far one should go in chasing a story when lives are unraveling around them. Billy Kwan, with his quiet wisdom and devotion to the overlooked, becomes the film's heartbeat. His guidance pulls Guy closer to the truth, yet his tragic end leaves a void that lingers. Jill Bryant's warning about the coming storm adds urgency, but Guy's choice to stay reveals the uneasy balance between professional drive and human responsibility. What fascinates me most is how the film refuses easy answers. It shows the Western press both as witness and opportunist, leaving us unsettled about what it means to see without truly understanding. I find myself curious, does documenting chaos absolve us, or does it implicate us even more? At number 6, The Man from Snowy River, 1982. Set against the sweeping Australian high country, The Man from Snowy River unfolds as more than a frontier tale. It's a journey of resilience and belonging. Jim Craig, a young rider, faces the loss of his father and the challenge of proving himself among seasoned men. What fascinates me is how the film balances rugged landscapes with human growth. The mountains aren't just scenery, they're a test of spirit. Kirk Douglas's dual role as Harrison and Spur adds a layered tension, showing two paths of pride and principle. The heart of the story lies in Jim's daring downhill ride, a breathtaking moment that feels both reckless and inevitable. Watching it, I can't help but wonder, was this leap about chasing horses or about claiming identity? The film leaves us curious about how courage, land, and legacy intertwine, reminding us that becoming a man is less about conquest and more about connection. Subscribe for the next video.